A very good morning and welcome to yet another edition of the YES101's Visual Radio. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Jed Abdeen. We start off with a look at your headlines.
News First headline.
And in headlines, Sarath Fonseka to contest presidential election. NEC slated to meet today, election date to be announced. Work to Rule campaign launched by teachers' trade unions enters fourth day. Biden says he quit presidential race to unite party and country. And in sports, Sri Lankan athletes depart to Paris for Olympics. And in your top story this morning, Field Marshal Sarath Fonseka has announced he will contest the 2024 presidential election. In a post on X, formerly known as Twitter, he said that for 76 years we have been led by an inept political group that has led us to bankruptcy. He also emphasized on a corruption-free country, adding, for Sri Lanka to grow we need to crush corruption. He emphasized on the need to leverage natural resources to boost income generation and invited every Sri Lankan to join him to take Sri Lanka forward. He added, "This is my formal and official announcement as the presidential candidate for the 2024 presidential election. I invite every Sri Lankan to join me to take Sri Lanka forward." And also in more local news, the Election Commission is scheduled to convene today. With political attention shifting towards the impending announcement of a presidential election, the NEC will discuss the matter extensively. Today's meeting will focus on the announcement of the presidential election, with a decision expected to be reached at length. Chairman of the Election Commission RMAL Ratnayaka says close to 30 events organized to disrupt elections have been stopped by the Election Commission following complaints that were received to the Commission. He adds that activities including appointments and distribution of relief to the public with political interference have been stopped. He stressed that necessary teams of officials will be appointed to overlook the process following the announcement of the presidential election. And also in more local news, the Work to Rule campaign launched by the Teachers and Principals Trade Union Alliance enters its fourth day. The trade union action was launched citing several demands including salary anomalies. Secretary to the Ceylon Teachers Union Joseph Stalin said a final decision on issues related to salary anomalies has not been provided yet. He adds that despite promises to take necessary steps on relevant promotions, no such steps have been taken. Secretary says if their demands are not met, the trade unions will take necessary measures to go beyond a Work to Rule campaign. And up next is international news.
International news.
And in news overseas, US President Joe Biden says he ended his re-election bid to unite his party and his country. In a rare televised address from the Oval Office, he says it is time to pass the torch to a new generation, adding that personal ambition cannot get in the way of saving their democracy. Biden stepped aside as the Democratic candidate for November's election and endorsed his Vice President Kamala Harris on Sunday following the weeks of pressure after his disastrous debate against Donald Trump. Meanwhile, Trump held his first rally since Biden dropped out and told his supporters the president quit because he was losing in the polls. And up next is your update on sports.
Sports news.
And finally, in sports, Tharushi Karunaratne, Arunadarshana and Nadisha Dilhani Lekhamge left the island last night ahead of the Paris Olympics. 6 Sri Lankans have qualified for the Paris Olympics this year. Viren Netasinghe, Nadisha Dilhani Lekhamge, Tharushi Karunaratne, Ganga Senaviratne, Kyle Abesinghe and Arunadarshana are among the Sri Lankans selected. And with that, we wrap up this morning edition of the YES101's Visual Radio. For the News First team, I've been Joed Abdin. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.